almost close to a week since I made a video, but I had readings to tend to. So speaking of that, I really do appreciate all you guys who went in and booked a reading. My booking page on my website is unavailable right now, but I did that because I just wanted to be able to catch up on the readings that were already in before I take more. Okay. So, yeah, we are here. And I know I talked about Kanye on my podcast. And of course, if you guys want to listen to old episodes that I did, you are more than welcome to click the description box and it will take you to the link to my podcast. I haven't did an episode on my podcast in a minute. And that is likely because I pretty much have been doing the podcast stuff live. So this is the stuff I was going to do on the podcast, but I like it better this way so that I can show you guys what I'm looking at so that you guys can follow along, etc. Hello to everybody that has jumped in here. Hello, Yolanda, nurse. Hello. We're going to get into it and look at Kanye's chart because I haven't really analyzed Kanye's chart. Like I pulled the energy on him in terms of the tarot cards, but I haven't really dug deep into his natal chart. Okay. So if you are new here, if you're popping in, welcome. I am Faith. Originally Divine Faith Tarot, but now I'm just the Divine Faith. I'm still the same old person. Don't get that shit twisted because I will cuss your ass out from the top to the bottom and we will be friends later. So that's where I'm at. Okay. It hasn't changed since video 1, take 2. But yes, hello everybody that has came in. Okay. So, and I know some of you are going to have strong opinions about it. So yes, but please make sure you keep it cute because I have no problem letting you know what it is. Okay. You may be able to do that shit over there on the Witches of Eastwick channel, but not over here. You can't do it. We have rules. Okay. It's my house and I have rules. So please respect them. But anyway, so we are going to, like I said, look at his chart and we're just going to go at it the same way I've been doing everybody else's chart. Okay. I'm not saying that I'm going to be 100% right when it pertains to Kanye's channel. Okay. I mean, not Kanye's channel, Kanye's natal chart, but we're just going to see what we're smoking with. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if his mental health issues are going to come up in his chart. They may. I don't know. I haven't really actually looked at it. And by the way, guys, we don't have his birth time. So we're kind of going to be going off of the fly a little bit when it comes to Kanye. I may have to actually put in a birth time him just so we can get sort of houses on the natal chart because it's hard to look at a natal chart without the houses being there. Okay, for me, that's just my opinion. But if you don't already know, Kanye, Gemini. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that he is a Gemini. Okay, but you know his son's or his zodiac sign is just for laughs and giggles at this point. Like I say all the time, we really want to look and see the day that he was born. And also we're going to look at his name that he was given by birth. Now, you guys know I talked about it before about the whole name change situation. What your name is, what you change your name to is critical in my opinion, just based off of my theories that I've did. Okay. You can really screw yourself by changing your name to something preposterous, if we're going to be honest. Or I know this probably sounds terrible, but even getting married, that carries a different vibration whenever you change your name to the other person's name. Some of you guys, you may change your name to or take somebody else's name and it doesn't do well for you. You may as well just stay with your maiden name, my opinion. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna take a look. So let's see. I'm about to share my screen so we can go ahead and get started because I'm gonna try not to keep you all day. Cause I know you guys probably got better things to do than to listen to me. Not really, but yes. So here we go. All right. We're here. So there's his chart. I just created it based off of just a regular birth time that I just put in there. I just put 12 p.m. because we don't know exactly whenever he was born. Sometimes I can guess just based off of mannerisms and stuff that they may do, but he's too hot and cold off and on. It's hard for me to gauge that of what his rising sign could possibly be. Now, of course, with the birth time that I put in here, it shows that he has a Leo rising. Again, we're just going to take it as if the birth time is correct. So Leo rising, and we've seen a couple of charts in the past that I've did where they have Leo rising. We know Leo normally is like a fifth house type of thing, the house of creativity, artistry, children, entertainment. I believe fame should be associated with Leo there. Okay. And again, just taking the chart as it is, he has Saturn in the 12th. Now, I've talked about before how Saturn is kind of like, to me, this is just my opinion, okay? Saturn to me is your destiny, kind of just like big picture things. Let's say that. Your North Node or purpose, they are different, okay? They are different. And Saturn can be kind of like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, based off of the book of rulership, I believe Saturn rules kind of like the end of one's life, because I forgot the age range. I think it's like, I think maybe 70s or 80s or something like that. So end of one's life is tied to Saturn. And he has that in the 12th house. He's lucky he's not going to prison, but that may even possibly be something that could be chasing behind him at this particular point with his Saturn being there. But there's this coldness here as well with this Saturn vibe. Okay. I don't know why I want to say like a destroyer for some reason in this case with his in the 12th house, but we'll get there. Okay, I'm trying not to jump ahead, but you guys know sometimes I do that if I see something interesting. Okay, but this before I from this, but this whole prison thing, this whole imprisonment type of vibe, it may be an imprisonment that he may be put under or put in by other celebrities. It may not be the actual prison system, that we know. This may be something else where I don't know if they have like, I don't know if this is a thing. I don't know if they have like prison for celebrities. I don't even know if that's a thing. Maybe they do, but it's probably very hidden because again, it's here in the 12th. We don't really see a lot of things out in front of us if they're tied to the 12th house. Okay. I don't know who it was where I talked about this on their natal chart, where I said, if I'm talking about actual love language, I would actually look at the 12th house, because the 12th house is our subconscious. Okay. That is the things that we may unfortunately go to in order to, feel better or not to feel insecure, those things. So I would say, this is just my opinion, if we're trying to possibly learn the love language or what somebody needs to feel loved, I would look at their 12th house. And I think in this particular chart, it probably would be that his Leo probably takes up the 12th and the first house. So let me look. It may be one of those things. I am cold here. I turned the heat up. I'm cold. I think I need to close those blinds. I'm cold. Hold on. Oh, his 12th house is Cancer. Okay, so, well, in this, his 12th house is going to be Cancer. So his love language may be mother-like qualities. His love language, or, his actual love language, not the one that they may be like, oh, Kanye's love language, because we're looking at the Venus. Somebody may say, oh, Kanye's love language may be food or maybe money. I don't think so. His love language could be definitely tied to Cancer, and his 12th house is on a very karmic degree. So the 29th degree of any sign is karmic. There's some sort of lesson that needs to be learned, needs to be finished up, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to that particular sign the 29th degree is on. And of course, Cancer is tied to the womb. We know Cancer is tied to nursing. He kind of gives me this energy here of, he may be someone where his women that he's in a relationship with become somewhat of a nurse to him. Okay, maybe even baby him. Unfortunately, that may be somewhat of like his love language. He wants to be babied by, he's a boob guy, I'm going to be honest. He's a boob guy. You don't really have to have much ass, honestly, for this one. But the boobs, yes. Okay. But either but either way. So back to his love language. So that tied to, like I said, the mother. Okay. Um his bones, okay, may not necessarily be very strong. And I don't know why I'm getting possibly a case of melanoma. Somebody explain to me or give me a quick thing of what that is. Even though I've heard it before, but something is telling me that that's coming up when it pertains to a health issue, okay, that may possibly come later on, or this may be something that he could be battling in private, because the 12th house is a very private house. But at the same time, even though this Cancerian vibe may be a love language of his, it also could possibly be to kind of like his detriment, because we can't ignore the fact that the 12th house is the house of losses. Okay. Could even, I don't know, maybe addictions may possibly be in the 12th house as well, since naturally Pisces belongs there. Okay. So we could say that coming in, if we're just looking at this birth chart as is, based off of saying it's the correct information, some type of karmic something tied to the mother. And he may, I mean, I hate to say it, maybe in some type of a manner, he may be trying to get that feeling back again, or he may be trying to replace his mom in a way, because we know she's no longer here. I don't think it's ever going to happen. No matter where he tries to look for that at, I don't think it's ever going to happen. You know, there is something there. There's that itch that nobody is ever going to be able to scratch. Okay. And and remember, I said this could even possibly in a manner be somewhat to maybe like his detriment when it pertains to this love language that he has, when it pertains to the women. Women, I would say, probably are going to be somewhat of like a loss to him, especially when it possibly becomes to affairs, cheating, okay, anything like that. There's going to be multiples, not just one, multiples. But he may not really ever get caught. He may not really ever get put on front street for having these multiple women, but they're karmic. But at the same time, it's part of his love language. Maybe even somebody that feels like they need to be surrounded by women. Could be an insecurity thing, okay? But now, let's go on to the regular process that I normally do. So, Kanye, born on the 8th day. Now, you guys already know when it pertains to the number 8, I've talked about it before. The number 8 is tied to Saturn if we're talking about numerology. Okay, so already Saturn is going to play a big part in his life. We could even possibly say a lot of losses too when it pertains to, could be concerts. This is just my feeling intuitively speaking. If he stood behind Travis Scott when it pertains to Astroworld, this is my opinion. I'm not necessarily saying that this is true, but this is just something I'm feeling intuitively. I actually feel like that whole Astroworld incident may have actually been meant for Kanye West. And Travis Scott, unfortunately, in a way, I'm not saying, it's almost like he took a hit, even though it seems like that whole thing was actually supposed to happen possibly under Kanye's watch, under Kanye's belt. So I don't know how that thing happened. So if he was quite close to Travis Scott, if he was backing him up, maybe I may be onto something when it pertains to that. Because Leo is concerts as well. Okay. So it is kind of odd. But anyway, so like I said, we know the number 8 is tied to the element of Saturn. We know Saturn is tied to old age. We know Saturn is tied to time, but also Saturn is tied to structure. Saturn is tied to, I believe, leadership, if I'm not mistaken, being the CEO, being the authority figure. Okay. He may also feel somewhat of a loss whenever it pertains to his father or being a father. That may go in hand when it pertains to his Saturn in Leo. It feels like you maybe or maybe a father who is too consumed with trying to be famous. Or, this could possibly just be him now, possibly as a father. You're too consumed with the fame instead of being a father. Not saying that he's not saying that he can't be a great father, but it's like something is getting in the way, more so your career. And I think we may be looking at a situation where if he is not more careful, if he doesn't necessarily try to turn this around, by the time one of the kids gets 12, or possibly by the time the youngest child gets 12, they may not have anything to do with him, because it's almost just like, I guess maybe in his mind, he feels like maybe he thinks he sacrificed his career for his kids, but honestly, he's never going to do that. My opinion. I don't think he's ever going to do that. If it comes down to a situation where they're kind of just like, look, dad, or somebody is trying to talk to him and like, look, you need to give this up for your kids, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think so. Okay. But that's just my opinion here. But anyway, so let's go to our astrology and numerology guide. So we're going to scroll down, of course. We have the number 8 car, which is tied to Leo as well. Now, Saturn and the sun, they ain't really kicking it like that. Okay. If they had of course, if they have choices to be friends with other planets or with other people, fine. It's like this has to be a last resort type of friendship, because Leo, the sun, wants to play. Okay. Saturn is thinking about responsibility. Saturn may scold Leo because of the fact Leo doesn't want to be responsible. Leo may scold Saturn because Saturn doesn't know how to not be serious. So you see how there's tension, I would say, between these two planets whenever they are grouped together. And like I said, with him being born on this 8th day, there's some Leo energy there, but then also there's some Saturnian energy there, but just pretty much karma, as you can see right here with the highlights. Highlights here: karma, power, passion, charm, organization. Again, the 12th house can be the house of addictions. He's addicted to power, regardless if he wants to admit that or not. I would say he is addicted to power. Well, wrong chart. I would say he is addicted to power, and his Saturn is making an aspect to his sun in Gemini. He's addicted to power in the workplace. This is someone, it feels like an abuse of power to me, as scare tactics. You may have someone who thinks that they should be a leader because they're famous. He automatically thinks that he gets that name badge. Oh, my name is Kanye and I am the leader because I am famous. Like, no. Leadership qualities, no bueno, no good. Because he may be someone, like I said, where his leadership, I guess, qualities are more so, it's just he's running his damn mouth. He's running his mouth. There's no substance behind your leadership. So example, we're supposed to have a board meeting every Monday, or we're supposed to have an office meeting every Monday, Kanye. You know that because you are running the business. For some reason, he feels like I don't need to be a part of said board meeting, or he comes in the board meeting and he derails what we're supposed to be talking about. So everybody sitting in there is confused. Like, why are we confused? We shouldn't be confused, especially by the person that owns the company. You should know about return on investments. You should know about, what is it? You guys know what I'm about to say. You should know about all those things tied into accounting. You should know about the books. He should know, even though we know probably a lot of celebrities don't really know about that stuff, but they should. But like I said, we have someone that wants to exert their leadership in a negative manner. And it's always a loss in a way, especially when he's trying to force it, when he's trying to push the leadership. It doesn't work because it's misdirected. Honestly, it has no direction whatsoever. It's not even thought out. Okay. But anyway, so back to our guide. So like I said, the highlights here that I've put on this paper are good things. They're supposed to be good things, okay? So like I said, karma, power, passion, charm, organization. But as you can see, my opinion, if Kanye wasn't rich, I bet you he might be a hoarder. Because his organizational skill may be very subpar. So this may be somebody where he definitely needs somebody else to come in and clean up after him in some type of a manner because he's disorganized. Okay. Well, yeah, disorganized, especially when it comes to paperwork, contracts. This is not somebody, my opinion, he may not really read his contracts. Because maybe in his mind, it could be things here. I'm a celebrity. I'm Kanye. You're not going to give me a bad contract. So he may not really read it. Not saying he can't. He just may not really want to. Okay. Especially those contracts when it comes to him being like the leader of some company. He's not going to read it. It's just like, oh, you want me to be the leader of this particular organization? You want me to be the front man or be the brand ambassador for this company? Where do I sign? He's not even reading at all. Okay. Anyway, moving on. And there's another thing I'm going to mention after I get finished with this, another theory line, but I will finish with this first. And then we have strength. Okay. Remember I said before, guys, I said that there may be some issues when it pertains to bones or maybe a lack of calcium. Look at that. See, here is strength. Okay. And I'm not saying that Saturn can't have some sort of strength in sign of, and I actually think Saturn may be at fall or detriment in Leo at that, because the opposite of Leo, remember guys, when I talk about opposites, all you gotta do is look to the opposite side of the street. It's like we're looking at a neighborhood, and Leo and Aquarius, they will be neighbors but opposite sides of the street. Okay, so the opposite side of Leo is Aquarius. Saturn is like at home, we should say, in Aquarius. So that would probably make Saturn at detriment, in Leo. But let me go see. Yes, Saturn is in detriment in Leo. So yes, so I don't know if maybe his idea was that he would finally prove him. And I think that's what we're looking at. We're possibly looking at somebody who felt like they needed to prove themselves. So they decide to go the route of being a celebrity. With them being a celebrity, they feel like, okay, that proves that I'm strong. You can't, I don't know if Kanye dealt with bullying. It's like, you can't bully me. You can't whatever when it pertains to other kids. You can't do that to me, because this is somebody who I feel like wants to have an upper hand above somebody. Okay. In whatever way that is, he wants to have the upper hand, which that could be dangerous to him. Okay. So if it was in his thought process, I would say for him to being a celebrity for him meant that I have the strength to, I hate to say it, he gives me the vibe where it's just like he's going to make a mental note, I feel like, of all the people that like bullied him or whatever it is. And once he gets that seat of power, he's going to make an example out of you. Okay? That's just what I feel when it pertains to him. Let's go back to our guide again. So now that we know some of the highlights, but if he uses his power when it pertains to his Saturn appropriately, then he can get good things out of it, especially when it pertains to pen writing. I'm not going to take that away from him whatsoever. When he digs deep into that Saturn in the 12th house energy, when he digs deep into that power, when he writes with charm and passion, damn it, he writes. And you cannot take that away from him. Okay? So it's a good asset when it's used properly. But when you start writing as a way to get back at someone because of what they did to you, you're trying to, if you are trying to, for him, if he's trying to put karma on somebody through his lyrics, you are pulling yourself backwards into a energy of loss. Not saying that you shouldn't write about the pain that you felt, but it shouldn't be a ballad to pretty much get at them in the worst way. He doesn't need to go there, because that would be the beginning of the downfall for Kanye. So I would say his downfall starts with what he puts on that paper. And again, even with his Saturn in the 12th house, you have to be careful, because he will curse you. And we're not talking about curse you in terms of like, cuss you out like I might do. No, we're talking about literally say, like almost in a manner, hopefully, almost like he may even try to speak death over your life. You got to watch out for this one. But that's what I'm saying. He may even kind of like I wouldn't even be surprised if he has sheets of paper somewhere writing something about that, speaking some type of ill will over somebody's life that he feels wrong by, even if they didn't necessarily do anything super wrong. When he feels wrong, he gets to writing. It's almost kind of just like that stuff comes to pass, especially when it pertains to celebrities. So, I mean, I don't really know if now we know Kim Kardashian, come on, let's be honest here. We know she's done her shit. She can be shitty. But in this particular instance, I don't know if it was smart for her to marry this man. Because, again, his ability to speak negatively, karmically over somebody, and he does it with passion. So that's how I know the shit is sticking. And it's almost like you may feel like your life is ruined. Like, why does it feel like my life is just going down trajectory? No. Especially after dealing with that one, after dealing with him. No. Okay. But challenge. Oh, look at that. Challenges here: bullying, abuse, rigidity, vanity. Okay. But I already said that abusive words, maybe not even necessarily abuse when it pertains to physically speaking, mentally, verbally abusive. Okay. And it's not like this is it may be hidden in a way, but I don't think so. This may be something that colleagues may hear, but we may not necessarily hear it, because his son is in a public house. However, his son is making an aspect to his Saturn in a very non-public house. Okay. So, it may be said in front of a particular group of people. He will belittle you. I feel like he possibly may belittle you in front of your colleagues or in front of his colleagues. And he doesn't think that there's anything wrong with it. Because like I said, his mouth. But like I said, I mean, I don't know. Where that comes from in a past life, where your words is more so, I would say probably more so written than spoken words, honestly. But yeah, who knows what this man has written down in his iPhone, in journals, whatever it is. Okay. But yes. So back to the thing. So like we said, challenges here. These challenges are there to say these are things that need to be worked on, that you can overcome. Being too rigid, stuck in his ways, not surprising. So trying to get this man to shut up, I just like stop trying to get him to shut up. He's not going to do it, because he's too rigid in that. He's too stuck in that. Because in his mind, he's not really saying anything wrong. Okay. But going back, okay, lessons. Find your inner strength instead of using others to fight your battles. Stand up to things by simply being yourself. So we could possibly say that maybe in some type of a manner, that may possibly be what he's doing right now. He may literally be abiding by this lesson. Stand up to things by being yourself. For him, maybe he may feel like what he's doing, his aesthetic that he has, is him being himself. It may be, it may not be, but for him, he may literally feel like that, yes, this is just me being me. So he may literally be like navigating through his Saturn at the moment. See, okay, but I'm actually going to check on his Saturn. So his Saturn is at 12 degrees Leo. Now the 12th degree is a Pisces degree. So again, fame is the drug. He may not really do actual drug shit. He might even really drink, but he may not really need to, because this is almost just like, his kick. This is almost like heroin to him, honestly, fame. And that's why I said, push comes to shove, he's not going to choose his kids over fame. And I hate to say it, even if he has the potential to be even if he can be a great father, seriously, even if he could be a really great father, he is too addicting to him. But maybe we're in a particular time period right now for him where he's trying to maybe get out of that. We'll just have to possibly see how this plays out. But like I said, the Saturn can represent the end of one's life. I think I talked about it on my podcast where I said, if Kanye's not careful, he's going to find himself alone, destitute. I think I may have made mention about this whenever I did that reading. It had to be a couple months back, whenever all this started popping off. Okay, so let's look at the 12th degree of Leo. Had to pull it up. Let's see. Let me take a look and see Leo. Okay, we're good there. Leo, 12 degrees. Beauty, physical beauty, constancy, holding on to one's beliefs, self-assertion. What I say, we already talked about it before we even looked at the degree, where I said, good luck trying to get this person to shut up or even get this person to try to consider that what they said is wrong, because it's just not going to happen. I don't really see that, because he holds on to what he believes in, even if it's ludicrous. That's what he believes in. He holds on to that. But the thing is, this may even possibly be someone who may be a little out of touch with reality, especially when it possibly pertains to looks. It almost kind of like gives me this vibe. Like there is this silent, very egotistical type of person that is like, I'm the most beautiful. I'm the most beautiful. I don't know why I kind of get that. So this may even be someone who's feeling like, I'm the most beautiful, so I can get away with it. Or it may even be, maybe not necessarily beauty in terms of like the degree says, physically speaking. It may be him feeling like, my words are the most beautiful. My words are the most beautiful. You've never met a poet like me. I can say what I want to say. It's very like, you see how I'm dragging that? I kind of get that type of energy from him, and who wants to listen to that dragging like that? Like you're trying to be in a Shakespearean play. I don't want to listen to that. Okay. And people, especially when it pertains to people that he worked with, they may possibly have the same gripe, kind of just like, I don't want to listen to the dragging. Okay. Anyway, so, what else are we going to look at? Well, I guess we look at his sun sign. His Jupiter is in there as well. What's the opposite of Gemini? Sagittarius had. So his Gemini Jupiter is also in detriment. So he has a Saturn in detriment and he has a Jupiter in detriment. Detriment is kind of just like, broken but fixable. It can be fixable. It's broken. Fall is a little bit more difficult. Okay, fall may take, and whenever a planet is in fall, it may take a little bit more time to put the pieces back together, but it's not saying that you can't. Okay, but anyway, so with his Jupiter being up here, honestly, Jupiter is tied to the number 3 in numerology. The fall of Kanye's career started in his 30s, and this goes into my Jupiter. This goes into my other theory, where based off of the age that you're in, whether it be 10s, 20s, or 30s, a particular planet is kind of like tied to that particular age. That's just my theory. So with 3 being tied to Jupiter, we could say that Kanye's 30s were tied to Jupiter, his Gemini Jupiter. It was influenced kind of like by that placement. Okay. He's like in his Jupiter phase, if I can sum it up better. Okay. Now that he's like in his 40s, right? 40s is Sun. Now he's coming into his Gemini Sun. So more ranting and raving throughout his 40s we could possibly be expecting. Just again, theory. It may not be, correct. Okay. But it feels that way because Kim Kardashian is in her 40s as well. And if I'm using my theory, she would be in her Sun decade, and her Sun is at fall in Libra. So she's falling too. You know what I'm saying? Or is it detriment? No, it's like, her Sun is at fall in Libra. But anyway, so look at his Sun. His Sun, 17 degrees Gemini. So the time period that he's in, if my theory stands correct, this time period should be a time period where he should be making some different type of moves besides the one that he's making now. Look at this. His Sun on the 17th degree of Gemini is a degree of execution. Would you look at that? Lofty aspirations, keen failure. So maybe my theory actually does uphold that even though, he has his Sun in Gemini and is not really like in detriment or fall or anything like that. But with being on the 17th degree, his career is crumbling. His career is going through an execution. His aspirations are lofty. He is a failure. He could be going through a phase of just failure, period, in his 40s when it pertains to his career because his Sun is in his 10th house. But it's almost just like this may unfortunately be a part of his purpose to go through this failure. And that may be something that he may have possibly said. So he may not necessarily be wrong, but I think he may be thinking of it in a manner of, I'm just failing because, God will make a way. Well, buddy, I love the Lord. The Lord loves me. He ain't never going to depart from me. I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. Okay. But you can see with this Gemini Sun, look where it's making an aspect to. It's squaring his moon in Pisces in his house of relationships. He's burning all his bridges. Okay. And we're talking about, like I said, based off of my theory, with him being in the 40s, the number 4 is tied to the Sun. We're specifically talking about his Sun. Okay. He's burning a lot of bridges. Moon in Pisces, it may be struggling to kind of like function a little bit when it pertains to reality. And I think that's what's going on. And his moon is actually squaring his Neptune in Sagittarius in the 4th house. Okay. Hate to say it, may his mother rest in peace, but this may actually have something to do with his mother. May have actually been some sort of medication or something like that she may have actually been willfully taking whenever she was possibly pregnant with Kanye. That may be having a negative effect on him, mentally speaking, because we have his Neptune here in the house. Okay. There's something he's not telling when it pertains to his father. You kind of see how these are kind of like connecting a little bit. The Sun, the moon, and Neptune, they're kind of like making like a triangle. If you kind of look at it a little bit, you got an opposition here. We have 2 squares. Feels like it's all leading back down to his 4th house. I don't know, man. I hate to say it. The S word is coming up very strongly. This may have possibly happened maybe in the past. This may have possibly happened maybe when it pertains to his mother. But that S word, you know what S word I'm talking about, is coming up. It feels like almost like somebody who may drown themselves in alcohol at home with the Sagittarius Neptune here. But he has to be careful of just himself. I mean, this is dark, but I'm just being honest. Because look, they're all making an aspect to his degree of execution, failure. We couldn't even possibly say that with him being here in his 40s, he's trying not to accept the reality that he's a failure. Regardless of what the hell the paper says, to be honest. We're talking about the internal dialogue. Failure here. I think that may possibly be what he feels internally, but honestly, it may be something that the public is mimicking back to him. So the public may possibly turn their backs on him because of these emotional tirades. This is somebody, like, he actually may be hard to live with as well. He may be somebody, it's almost like some of you guys have kids. You've seen a child throw a temper tantrum, and I mean a full temper tantrum. I kind of possibly get that when it pertains to him. And his Neptune is hitting his Saturn here. He throws a lot of temper tantrums behind the scenes when it pertains to celebrities, okay? And I wouldn't even be surprised if they've kind of like in a manner kind of like avoided him during this duration of him being in the spotlight. And this kind of gives me the vibe of somebody who thinks it's cute, but he would be shocked to really know how people really view him. They don't disregard his talent, no. But emotionally speaking, it's like to give him a pacifier. Seriously, I do feel like it feels like you need to give him like a bottle. He needs a pacifier or something like that. Like he's like he needs to soothe, but he may self-soothe through women. He really likes foreign women. Okay. He really, and there's nothing wrong with that, but don't lie about it. Okay. I don't know if he has lied about it. Okay. He likes foreign women. So possibly liking his own kind, you might as well hang it up. It's just not gonna happen. And this is just looking at the chart. This seems like it was kind of like predetermined a little bit when before he was born or whenever he was born. As soon as the birth chart, as soon as, he was born on that day, he made his first breath and we kind of like created the birth chart. It was just like, oh yeah. He just wants foreign women. Maybe even liking foreign objects in women. Okay, so the plastic surgery maybe that the women may get that he's dealing with, that may possibly be all on him because he likes he likes like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. The look, the aesthetic. He's all about the aesthetics. Okay, his wife was going to be famous. This right here, Venus in Taurus. Venus is, what is that? At home in Taurus, and is making a trine to his ascendant. She was going to be famous. He wasn't going to marry no regular old Joe. Okay. But maybe we may not rule out the possibility, but maybe that's one of the reasons why he wanted to be famous, so that he can get a famous wife. Because he probably knew if I ain't famous, then, I'm not going to get that type of woman. Oh, Kanye. The women help him get the fame. My opinion. Because it doesn't seem like he's strong enough to do it on his own. Like he has like the talent, you know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily think that he's strong enough to do it on his own. He needs women. I hate to say it. It almost comes across like he uses them. And once he's done with you, yikes, he's done with you. So if he's still hanging on to Kim, it's because he's not done with her. If he let go of other people that he dated freely, it's because he got out of you what he needed, didn't get out of you what he needed, and we're off. Okay? But that's the one. That's why he's hanging on to her so much. That's why he's causing havoc, because that's the one. That's the one he's, in a way, if I'm just, just based off what I'm looking at, that's the one that's almost like he, not plotting, but maybe, that's the one that he's been trying to get. I haven't looked at him and Kim's chart, but based off of what I'm seeing here, I wouldn't even be surprised if maybe Kanye came into Kim's life whenever she was married and they had an affair. I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't. Okay. But either who, let's look at his moon. Moon in Pisces is at 18th degree, which I think is a Virgo degree. Yes, it is, because it's right after the 17th degree. So the 18th degree is a Virgo degree. So let's look at Pisces 18 degrees. Again, it's in the 7th house of partnerships, one-to-one things, maybe I think legal, maybe 7th house, but also I think the 7th house may be the house of divorce, or is it 6th house? Maybe 6th house is divorce. I'm going to have to look at that. I'll look at it in a minute. But we're looking at, oh yeah, I was looking, trying to see the 18th. Yes, the 18th degree is Virgo. I just want to check and make sure. So let's scroll it on down. Pisces 18 degrees, wounding, danger, intellect, need for harmony. We called it, people. Incisive. We called it. Even the wounding part. I've been talking about that. He wounds in his relationship, as he mentally, emotionally, he wounds, he pokes. He's like, even though he's not a Cancer, okay, you guys know the picture. I'm trying to see if I can find the picture. The picture or the meme of the crab that has the knife in his hand. He's like, stabby, stabby. That's him. In relationships, he pierces you. He also, honestly, he may cut your relationships, especially emotionally speaking. Okay, like seriously, and maybe even to the point where you leave that relationship, and now you may be like, I need therapy, or I possibly need some sort of medication to help me balance out because I feel like I'm going through a psychotic breakdown. What did I say? What did I say before? Like 30 minutes ago. Kim probably shouldn't even cross these waters. But it's that that mercurial type of energy when it pertains to what he says. He gets in your psyche. He really gets in your psyche, especially whenever you guys are, at home. We're talking about the 4th house. He shows you the world, or he shows you the world through his eyes. But his world is not realistic. Okay? But either who. So like I said, wounding, danger, intellect, need for harmony, incisive. And I'm going to actually look at a deeper, detailed explanation for this moon in the 18th degree. I mean, we know Kanye is problematic, but it's the fact that other people don't know that he's They probably do. But unfortunately, the way of the world, for some reason, it seems like the world really likes to follow behind people that are just dark. Unfortunately, it's like the world really thrives off of that. It's like, like the world being attracted to demons, demon seeds. We really just want to coddle the demon seeds. I'm not calling them a demon seed. I'm just saying an example. So Pisces 18 degrees. Okay. Now in this detailed thing, the 18th degree isn't bad. We have a creative, cautious, enthusiastic character endowed with strong persuasion. We call it again. Endowed with strong persuasion powers and good oratory skills. Lord Jesus, I'm about to sound slow. One is entirely dedicated to natural treatments aiming at improving human beings' health, which arouses respect and admiration from the general public. Success, fame, and wealth can be achieved in science, medicine, medicinal plants, chemistry, or scientific research. This degree indicates a valuable discovery is possible, but maybe he's already discovered what he was supposed to discover. Okay, moon, maybe he probably already did this in his 20s. So I don't know if he possibly discovered a particular, or they would say he discovered a particular style or type of music, but if they say that he did, that tracks. Because again, if we go with my theory in terms of, your planet being ruled by the certain age decade that you're in, his Pisces moon would have been very prominent in his 20s. Okay, so it's possible that may have happened. Okay, but let's see. Yeah. And then again, Venus in the 9th house, foreign. So obviously, I'm surprised that Kim, his wife, wasn't Russian, but that may possibly be the next person that he may go after. And then, I'm just saying, just based off what I'm seeing, I'm getting Russia, Liberia, even though he could possibly go for a woman from Ethiopia. I don't know. That's a possible. Okay, but those are just the countries that I'm getting in terms of type of wife he was looking for. He may even possibly have even traveled to those particular countries, look for said wife. Okay, but their background wouldn't be 100% like, American. No. Okay, no Southern Belle. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. What else do we need to look at? Oh, I guess we can look at his name. It is Kanye, right? Kanye Omari West. Okay, just making sure. So, to my theory when it pertains to the name, he has a letter K. We already talked about his Saturn, so we already know how this is going to go. So, in terms of like careers, I guess we could say, when it pertains to my theory with the name. So, K is actually tied to Aquarius, Saturn, Uranus, friendships, associations, ideals, and causes. Okay. And then we have in Leo, of course, entertainment, leadership, fame, children, politics, diplomacy. Look, great producer, great entertainer. Unfortunately, it's to his detriment because it's in the house of the 12th. Okay. This probably is going to sound wrong for me saying it because again with his Saturn and Leo in the 12th, I'm going to say it. If he decided or if he agreed to like split custody in his divorce with Kim Kardashian, I think that was because he wanted to hang on to her as opposed to really trying to dig in and be all that he needs to be when it pertains to children. There is definitely some sort of loss here tied to children, but I think it's more so tied to how he is as like a parent in terms of communication or stuff like that. Okay, he may be like a boastful father. He may be one of those fathers where he'll tell his kid, just like somebody messing with you, you'll tell him who your dad is. It's like, no, that's not how we handle the situation. Like, you try to investigate, try to go in, have a meeting or something. I don't really get that. I don't really get him like showing up for meetings. It's like he wants his fathership, and I know it's not a word, maybe it is, to be put on display. That's the highlight of his fatherhood. Put it on display. No. And that's why I said before, I feel like this may be somebody where he's going to choose the fame over being a father. I would hope not. I would hope as he gets older, he realizes that's not going to work. But the way he's going, his kids may not really want to have much to do with him. Especially, it could be the youngest boy, okay, that may not really want to have anything to do with him. That may be the one that really lets him have it. Just lets it all out and say, you know what? You are not shit. And I really don't like the way that you were a father to me. That may be the one that is going to give him that dose of reality, but he needs it. Honestly, I feel like in order to wake Kanye up, the youngest boy is gonna have to be his source of truth bombs. I think that really may flick the light bulb on with him. And it may be like, oh my God, like, am I really that bad? Like, yeah. So I think that may possibly be what it's gonna take. Okay. Unfortunately, you don't want that to be the case. You don't want your children to pretty much, come at you with just truth bombs and they're so harsh. You don't really want that to be the case. But unfortunately, I think that's going to have to be what's going to happen here when it pertains to him. Okay. He's changed. Oh yeah. I can't really go by, I guess maybe at the beginning. Go by my theory, but he's changed his name now. Now he's changed his name to a Y, right? And I think Y is Mars. Yes, Y is tied to Aries, tied to Mars. His Mars is debilitated in Taurus. Remember what I just said? Your name change can set you back. Yeah, no, he shouldn't have changed his name. How long ago did he change his name? I don't remember. But he probably shouldn't have changed his name. I wouldn't even be surprised if possibly in the future there may be some sort of country that denies him entry, because I see him possibly having some issues with foreign relations, foreign affairs in the future. Okay. And it looks like his Mars is sitting on top of his Venus as well. So did he change his name while he was still married to her? If he did, yeah, now just screw divorce. You know? I don't really think that he would do that great as a husband, to be honest with you. To be honest. But that's just me. Let's look at his Mars placement, which is in Taurus, because now that he's changed his name, is at 2 degrees Taurus. And again, even though 2 degree, the second degree can be a degree of, it's 1 degree. I'm looking at his Venus. His Mars is in 1 degrees Taurus. But I was going to say, yeah, that makes sense. The 2 degrees, the second degree can be a degree of power. So not shocking that he ended up with Kim. I said he was going to go for a woman with power. And that's what he got. Anyway, let's look at 1 degrees Taurus Mars. Which the first degree is a Mars degree. Okay. Surgeon, organizer, unsocial, self-sufficiency. Oh, yeah. So possibly, so that he doesn't really have a last name. I guess we could say, if we're talking about, based off of my theory, the end of one's life, or, the end of one's life whenever it pertains to your name, he's going to become like a recluse. I already called that whenever I did his cards a couple months ago. I said that he was probably going to become a recluse. I can see that. Hermit type of energy. What is his Mars aspecting? His Mars is hitting his Uranus, and is hitting his ascendant in Leo. Okay. So he may start to distance himself more away from celebrities. Okay. He may start to maybe hang out more with maybe, like, I guess, non-celebrities, or I don't know if that's what you want to call them, because that's what he's doing. He's in his Mars energy since he changed his name. Okay. I wouldn't even be surprised if it almost gets to the point of isolating himself so much that now he wants to get on the treadmill and run back to his community. But his community, I'm talking, you guys know what I'm talking about, the community that he was born into. Let's be honest, Black people. Okay. I think he's going to start to run possibly back to that community, almost trying to come across like, I did this for you guys. That's not true. You got isolated out because it's like you were pretty much executed from the group. They kicked you out. The members only club, that members only jacket that you had, they kicked you out. So don't try to make this seem like you're doing this for us. No, sir. You got kicked out. You don't have no choice at this point to do it for us, because you need somebody to help you. Okay. But what I look at? I looked at first degree Aries, so I still stand by what I said. First degree of Taurus, magic, impotence, needs to improve attitude, constructively, life lessons. So I still stand by what I said. Yes. Magic. It's in, he thinks he can work magic here, especially when it probably pertains to finances. But once again, his Mars is debilitated. So I'm not really sure what magic he's going to work here. Helplessness. Also, impotence. Somebody's having some erectile dysfunction issues, or that's a coming. And you won't be able to satisfy these foreign women that you like so much anymore. Hence where, don't be surprised, again, if you see Kanye taking a step back to his own community when it pertains to love, is calculated. It's calculated because, his own community probably is going to accept that impotence. They're going to be like, it's okay. We can try to figure something out. But the women that his preference that he would actually like to be with, they ain't trying to deal with that, the noodle. No, they're not trying to deal with that. Okay. So I would say the first degree of Taurus is a degree of helplessness. And I'm telling you, he's not going to have any help. If he possibly is thinking about maybe gaining citizenship in another country or possibly trying to take whatever this is he's doing to another country, they're not going to accept him either. This is a helpless man. Sooner than later, the world is going to isolate him out. It's in the chart. Sooner or later, the world's going to isolate him out. And that's unfortunate. Okay. He has sun. His sun is making an aspect to his Pluto. So, powerful, money. I get that. And also it looks like his Jupiter is hitting his Pluto. I think they said, based off what I read, that Jupiter, Pluto aspect can be one of wealth. But if we're going to be honest, his Jupiter is in fall. So is he really as wealthy as they're saying he is? I don't think so. Okay. I just don't think so. Yeah, he should be, honestly, he should get some money and make a statue or dedicate a shrine to Kim Kardashian because she saved his ass. If we're going to be honest, she had the power. She came into the relationship with the power. This was calculated. My opinion. It was calculated. But I really do think that those two had an affair while Kim was married to one of those people that she was married to. That may be something that we probably never would hear about or get the truth about, but I'm going to stick by what I just said. Okay? So, I can't believe 17 of you are listening to this. So yeah, that's what I got, people. Okay, questions. You guys are really going to bat for this person. And I question, what did I just say? It's almost like as a collective, the world wants to go to bat for people that are just dark in the corner. Okay. I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's my opinion. Here we go. Oh, I have to laugh. But anyway, yes, Wanda, yes, he got what he wanted. She's at the degree of power on his Venus. He got what he wanted in the 9th house. That is, it's like she got him in the door of kind of like, I guess, foreign relations or whatever it is, or she got him in the door when it pertains to like, I guess, those foreign relationships or something like that. Not saying that he didn't, have a part to play in it, but she really got him through the door. Okay, but my opinion. But that's just my educated guess that he and Kim, it feels like an affair. It really does feel like an affair. Okay. That probably may not even really hear about it. Maybe there were whispers about it and stuff like that, but okay. But we may, of course, with him having that Gemini energy, we may be dealing with somebody who has two sides. But unfortunately, that side that needs to be worked on, his shadow side is pushing out more. That's the unfortunate part about it. But it's not like you can't, fix things that you need to when it pertains to your shadow side. It's just all depending on if you want to put in the effort to do it or not. Okay? It's possible. I'm not disputing that. Vic, what you said, disputing that. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really, I don't know. Even people from Chicago. Did he not grow up in Chicago? I know his birth chart says Atlanta, which I didn't even know he was born in Atlanta. But even people that grew up with Kanye in Chicago, I don't even think they fuck with him, to be honest. And it's pretty bad. Okay. So that's why I said his shadow side just needs work. It needs a lot of work. It really does. Because it's not like he's not like he's doomed here. Because these are just things that he just needs to work on. Okay, especially that whole thing. He needs to stop trying to get in people's psyche. It's irritating. It's like you don't need to do that to get the outcome that you need. It's okay. It's okay if people don't agree, but you don't need to drag it out to try to like get them to agree. Just let it go. It's fine. They can disagree. So it doesn't need to be a situation where, it's okay for you to disagree with them, but whenever they disagree with you, now we have an issue. You don't need to do that. It needs to be a two-way street here. And that may be something because, again, I think his Taurus degree, his Taurus Mars says he needs to adjust his attitude. And that may simply just be a matter of take two sides. Look at the both sides. Okay. But the issue is that he gets into these like things where he's struggling to process through his emotions. It just doesn't make any sense. So I wouldn't really be surprised if he does have mental like health issues because he just struggles to process through that. And he may even possibly be somebody that even if he possibly needs medication, he ain't going to take it. And that sucks because it's like some people may need that. But for him, it's like, I get it. He wants to overcome it and not have to, take medication. But sometimes some people need it. There's no shame in that. No, it's a possibility. I don't know what I don't even know how to pronounce your name. A papush. I don't know if that's what you said. It's a possibility. I'm not gonna say it's a definite because I'm not a therapist. I am not in that space where I can, give a test to Kanye and say, yeah, he is 100%, has this mental health disorder. I don't have the credentials to do that. So I said it's a possibility, but I can't say it's definite. So if somebody says it's definite and you haven't did the proper evaluation, I don't agree with that. You have to do the proper evaluation, kind of like what they did with Amber Heard. The therapist, she went to a therapist. The therapist did all the tests that they were supposed to based off of, the guidelines, and they diagnosed her, I think, being bipolar, didn't they? Or it was something else. But that's the proper way to handle it. So I can't say yes for certain through his chart that he is bipolar. I can't say that because that would not really be ethical, to be honest. Okay. That's why I said this is my opinion. It's my opinion. We can take it as a possibility, but it's not definite. Okay. Yolanda, yes. Oh yeah, I answered your question. Yes, for sure. Especially when it pertained to financially speaking, he definitely prospered when it pertained to that. Whether he wants to admit it or not, he did. Okay. But my opinion, she should have never married him. I don't think he should really be married to anybody. Okay. Because it just becomes too much. It almost becomes a situation where you're, like I said before, you're having to play mommy to him to try to like help him go through these episodes. Who wants to do that all the time? Somebody may want to, but I don't really get that when it pertains to Kim. Well, remember, Yolanda, I just said how he has a loss when it pertains to children based off of his Saturn. We can say goes along with what you said. In the divorce, he lost a lot because look, Saturn is in Leo, which is tied to children. Okay. So it more so went to the kids, even though he lost a lot. So that actually makes sense. But I'm telling you, that one child of his is going to be the one, or may be the one that's going to have to pull him out of this. Because like I said, it's that two sides. He really needs to find a way to balance out this moon square Neptune type of energy. Okay. And speaking to media is not going to help it, sir. No. You need to decompress in some other type of way. I think, it may be, like I said, it may be a situation where maybe he needs to be on some sort of medication to possibly balance it out. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. The right medication. Like you need to be possibly evaluated by somebody that is not in the industry that you're in. And that is not fazed by the fact that you're Kanye West and then you do good when it pertains to words. No, you need somebody that's not going to pay attention to that. He just needs to stop talking to the media. That is not the way he bounces out his moon square Neptune. That's not the way you go about this. Like, no. Like, this almost gives me somebody who needs like a support group, or maybe even a support animal. if he's down for getting a pet. Okay, seriously, he needs like a support group. But I think, without a doubt, there definitely is, my opinion, there definitely is like that softer side of him, especially, like I said, if we're talking about his 12th house. Remember, I said 12th house, to me, my opinion, can be love language. So there is a softness to him that may surprise the hell out of you, but it's been suppressed, and it keeps being suppressed more and more and more. So we may not, or somebody may not really ever get a chance to see that softness of his love language that he has, because he's not balanced. And that's why I said it's screaming shadow. It's screaming shadow. High priest, I would agree. I said that at the beginning. I would agree. I said there was some sort of karma or something karmic tied to his mother. So I would 100% agree. And she may have been possibly the only person that really saw that side. And that's unfortunate that other people won't get a chance to see that side. But once that happened, it was like not a wrap, but it started going downhill. Okay. And I really do not want it to be a situation where he goes to a place of isolation, but that's where he's looking at. But it's not going to be an isolation by choice. It's going to be an isolation by force, because nobody's really going to be willing to deal with you. My opinion. But I don't know. It's just, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. We make excuses for people's bad behavior. I really don't understand that. And I really don't rock with you, to be honest, because I just can't deal with that. And I don't understand why we keep doing that. Okay? It's fine to make mistakes, but when you keep doing the same old shit over and over again, and then you throw it off on something else, just turn around and do the same thing in a couple months, like, come on. I'm sorry. You're losing me. Anyway, that is true, High Priestess. I would agree. I actually think that probably is really what ended it. My opinion, if they didn't have any kids, I don't think they'd even have broken up. Because he may not have really been ready to be a father in the way that he's a father. It might be too much. Okay. Like maybe the one child probably was okay, but maybe having more, maybe that was maybe more so her idea than his. I don't know. Opinion. That's my opinion. Okay. So any questions, people? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Okay. I don't want this to be a situation where Kanye is finally saying things that you guys want him to say because he's failing. We gotta take this into account. We don't want that to necessarily be the case. We don't want it to be a situation where now you're saying these things because you're failing. I don't know. I don't know. Not necessarily saying what he's saying is like super incorrect, but it's almost just like, all right. But anyway, questions. Something that you see in his chart that we didn't talk about. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Speak now or forever hold your peace, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's, hold on. Opposite 7, 8, 9. No, guys, I hate to break it to you. And this is just my opinion. I don't think Kanye West is super for God like you guys want him to be. That's my opinion. Because ninth house ruler, which is normally ninth house tied to religion. His ninth house lord is debilitated in Taurus. I don't think he's super for God like you think, but that's okay. High priestess, that his I wouldn't necessarily know. Now I'm not gonna say crazy because that's a little much, but he is emotionally, mentally off, disturbed. We're going to say that, but that would be his. I put it as his moon squaring his Neptune. Okay, because we got to think about it. Neptune is Pisces. Okay, Neptune also, or we know Pisces is kind of like 12th house type of energy. You know what I'm saying? So I would task that, or I would say it's moon square Neptune here. Oh, you guys can't see my mouse. I hate that. I hate the fact that you guys can't see my mouse. That sucks. You can see it on my other thing when I do the pre-recorded ones. But if we're going to be honest, guys, a lot of degrees that I read for his planets have some meanings on there where they're not that great. Execution, lofty aspirations, failure. What else was there? Okay. Shoot, I think the Saturn in Leo wasn't that great. What is it? Well, it's just not terrible. Shoot. Rigidity, bullying, abuse of power in some ways. Okay. So yes. Any other questions, guys, before we call it? He's not giving it to me. He's just not giving me like he truly is for, not saying he doesn't believe in God, but I think it's not as deep as he's trying to put it out there to be. My opinion. He may be doing it to appease you guys. And that would suck because you don't want to make a mockery of him. You don't want to make a mockery of God. It's just the wrong thing to do. But hey, that's my opinion, whatever. People are going to believe what they want to believe because, Kanye, he is, he's been rebuked like y'all want to say, but I'm not falling for it. I'm just not falling for it. It's like it doesn't really give me like it's genuine right now. It may become more genuine. It may become more genuine. Maybe if he loses everything and he becomes more isolated, then it may become more genuine. Like, wow, he really is awakening. He really does believe in God in that particular way. So, I know that's not popular, but if we got to think about it, I think he's getting y'all because his debilitated Mars is hitting his Leo ascendant. So I think he's getting y'all, but that's okay. He get me. I don't pay attention to him. I'll be like, I don't pay attention to him because I know I think I paid attention to Kanye at a point whenever I tell it's coming from a genuine place. That was years and years and years ago. I'm not really getting that point now. Okay. But yes, he leveled up to a different type of fame, and I think that's where the genuineness got lost. And for some reason now people think all of a sudden he's not genuine yet, I don't think, because he hasn't lost it like he may be headed towards. This almost feels like he may be saying in a way like God is going to bring him to his knees, but I really don't think he believes that truly. But this may be a situation where he literally may get brought to his knees in possibly the worst way. And then that's whenever it may click, my opinion. Okay. But hopefully, he finds some balance here. I really do want him to find some balance because there is a softer side that people deserve to see when it pertains to Kanye West that's not being, overshadowed by all this gunk. Okay. There's definitely a softer side. It really is. And I really do hope one day that comes out because it's pretty good. It really is. It's pretty good. It may not though, because, his mom saw it, but I hope we do get a chance to see it. Yeah, high priest, you got it. It's like a preacher, unfortunately. It is. That's why I say I really, you don't want to do that. You don't want to really start making a mockery. You don't. You really don't want to go there because I don't even think you understand the wrath. Okay. But yes, so we're done here. Okay. I appreciate you guys sticking around, and even some of you guys' comments that I really don't agree with, but I respect your opinion because I'm just that way. That's fine. We can agree to disagree. But yes, so thank you guys for sticking in. Of course, this video will be up so you guys can go back and watch it and maybe do your own interpretation of his chart. But I will see you guys later.